Picture this. It's 3 in the morning, the Arabian Sea, total darkness. You can't see 5 feet in front of you. And somewhere out there, cutting through that black water, is a ship the size of a small city, 3.5 football fields long, nuclear-powered, carrying 5,600 men and women, and over 70 fighter jets sitting on its deck, engines ready. That ship is the USS Abraham Lincoln. And tonight, Iran says it just hit it. Now, before you scroll past this, before you think this is just another headline, I need you to stay with me for the next few minutes. Because what happened in the last 24 hours is not just about a missile claim. There is something much bigger going on, something that tells you exactly how this war is really going. And it has nothing to do with what Iran is saying on state television. Let me take you inside this. It was March 25th, 2026, day 25 of the U.S.-Israel war against Iran. A war that started on February 28th, when America and Israel launched nearly 900 airstrikes in just 12 hours, killing Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Khamenei in the very first wave. That was the opening move. And ever since that night, Iran has been swinging back. On March 25th, from somewhere along Iran's southern coastline near Chabahar, mobile launcher trucks rolled into position in the dark. No headlights, no radio. And then, 4 missiles ignited and screamed out over the water. Iranian state media went live within hours. The claim was simple and explosive. Iran said it had struck the USS Abraham Lincoln. Iran said the carrier was damaged. Iran said America's most powerful warship in the Middle East was retreating, and the whole world stopped for a second. Now let me tell you exactly what those missiles were, because this matters. The weapon Iran used is called the Qader missile. Qader means the able one in Persian. And honestly, it is a serious piece of hardware. It is not some crude rocket. This is a guided, sea-skimming cruise missile with a range of up to 300 kilometers. It flies just 2 or 3 meters above the ocean surface, low enough that radar struggles to pick it up in time. It carries a 200-kilogram explosive warhead, and in the final seconds of flight, it locks onto its target using its own radar. It hunts by itself. So when Iran says it fired 4 of these things at Abraham Lincoln, that is not nothing. That is a real threat. That is the kind of weapon that keeps U.S. Navy commanders awake at night. But here is what actually happened. U.S. Central Command, CENTCOM, had responded within hours. And they were blunt. They said Lincoln was not hit. They said the missiles did not even come close. They posted photographs of the carrier the very next morning. Aircraft on deck, crew at stations, flight operations continuing as normal. A defense expert told PolitiFact that if missiles had actually struck a ship that size, every sailor on every nearby vessel would have witnessed the explosion. There were 0 witness reports. And those viral videos showing the Lincoln on fire, fact-checkers traced them back to footage from a completely different conflict in 2025. One of the videos turned out to be from a video game called Arma 3. Iran fabricated the strike. Full stop. But wait, this is the part most people miss. The fabrication is not the real story. The fabrication is the strategy. Think about what Iran is dealing with right now. Since February 28th, over 15,000 of their military targets have been destroyed. Their missile launch capacity is down 90%. Their drone production is down 95%. Their supreme leader is dead. Their IRGC Navy commander, Alireza Tangsiri, killed in an Israeli strike on March 30th. Their ballistic missile chief, Makram Atami, killed in Kermanshah. Their entire military infrastructure is being systematically dismantled from the sky. And yet, Iran is still firing. Why? Because this war is not just being fought with missiles. It is being fought with perception. Every time Iran claims it hit Abraham Lincoln, even if it is a lie, it sends a message to its population, to its allies from Yemen to Iraq to Lebanon, and to the wider Muslim world. We are still standing. We are still hitting back. We are not broken. That is worth more to Tehran right now than any missile that actually lands. Now let me give you the numbers that tell you what this war actually costs, because this is where your jaw drops. Each Qader missile costs Iran roughly $1 to $2 million. 4 missiles, the March 25th salvo, cost Tehran maybe $6 to $8 million. That is it. Now compare that to the target. The USS Abraham Lincoln cost $4.5 billion to build. To intercept those missiles, America's escort destroyers fire SM-2 and SM-6 interceptor missiles, each one costing between $500,000 and $4 million per shot. Iran has now fired 101 missiles at Lincoln across this entire conflict. Trump himself confirmed that number. Every single one was knocked down. But knocking down 101 missiles is not free. The defensive ammunition bill alone likely runs past $200 million. Iran spent roughly $100 million to attack. America spent double that to defend. That is how a country with a broken military still keeps a superpower off balance. Now here is the human story inside all of this, and this one is personal. General Randy George, 61 years old, West Point class of 1988. This man fought in Desert Storm. He deployed to Iraq. He deployed to Afghanistan. He spent 44 years serving in the United States Army. He rose all the way to the very top. Army Chief of Staff, the highest-ranking Army officer in the entire country. And yesterday morning, April 2nd, 2026, while the 82nd Airborne Division is literally loading up to fly to the Middle East, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth told him to retire. Immediately. No explanation, no press conference, just a Pentagon statement wishing him well and showing him the door. His replacement, a general named Christopher Leneve. 2 years ago, Leneve was a 2-star general. Today, he is running the U.S. Army. And his most publicly documented moment, he called into Trump's inauguration party from South Korea to personally congratulate the president on his victory. The Atlantic's Tom Nichols said it better than anyone. Firing the Army Chief of Staff in the middle of a war is always a sign that things are going great. Here is what the media is not connecting to you. 3 things happened in the last 24 hours that, when you put them together, paint a very different picture from the official story. First, Iran's own former foreign minister, Javad Zarif, the man who negotiated the 2015 nuclear deal, publicly said this week that Iran should declare victory and make a deal with Trump. That is a senior Iranian voice from inside the political establishment saying the war is becoming unsustainable. When the diplomats start talking like that, it means something. Second, 3 Omani oil supertankers were tracked this morning sailing through the Strait of Hormuz, completely outside Iran's approved shipping corridor, meaning Iran's naval blockade, the thing that has pushed oil prices to $108 a barrel and grounded flights across Asia, is starting to crack. Third, the UN Security Council vote to protect shipping in the Strait was supposed to happen today. It was delayed to Saturday, because China and Russia will not allow any language that lets other countries use force to reopen the waterway. The Strait carries 20% of the world's daily oil. Airlines are cutting flights. Jet fuel has doubled in price. China banned its own jet fuel exports to keep its planes flying. The economic damage is global and getting worse by the hour. So let me pull all of this together. Iran is lying about hitting Abraham Lincoln. That part is clear. But the reason they keep making that claim over and over is because they are losing the military war, and they need to win the psychological one. Meanwhile, America is firing its own generals mid-war and sending the 82nd Airborne to a region where the endgame is still completely undefined. Trump says the war ends in 2 to 3 weeks. Iran's foreign minister says they will fight for 6 months minimum. One of them is telling the truth. And somewhere out in that dark Arabian Sea, 500 to 600 Americans are sleeping in shifts, eating meals and rotating crews, launching jets into the night sky, and waiting to find out which one it is. The story they are telling you is about whether an Iranian missile hit an aircraft carrier. The story I just told you is about who is really in control of this war and whether anyone actually has a plan to end it. If that hits different, subscribe. Every video we make goes this deep. You deserve the full picture.